Hi, everyone. Welcome to Enjoy English. I'm Steven.
I'm Anthony.
Today's date is March 26th. We're on day 2 of looking at pages 50 to 53 under features.
好，我们今天要继续跟各位介绍一下我们昨天介绍的指甲花彩绘 Henna Tattoos。好，它很多时候我们不是谈到了，我们昨天有简单的介绍了一下 Henna Tattoo 它是什么东西，然后呢，它的话会在我们的这个身体上大概待差不多一两周、2-3周。然后呢 ，Steven 老师他自己有用过 Henna Tattoo， 你是用什么样子的图案？你还记得吗
？Yeah, actually we did like a lot of traditional like symbols and images that they use in tradition, but I don't know what they actually mean.
Oh, okay.
So today's article is going to be talking about that in detail. So I'm quite curious what those designs were actually trying to represent.
所以说老师呢就会告诉我们说，虽然当初他弄的时候，他发现到有一些那种传统的一些那种图案。当时他就不太晓得说，到底那些图案什么意思？刚好今天的课程就会谈到哪些图案它分别代表什么意思哦。我们赶快来看一看。
Colors of temporary blessings. The tradition of body painting with henna paste is called mehndi. This practice has been passed down for thousands of years and holds deep cultural significance. Henna designs are often inspired by nature, and each one has its own special meaning. Patterns of vines and leaves represent strength, growth, and the cycle of life. They serve as a symbol of hope for anyone going through difficult times. On the other hand, flower patterns symbolize joy and happiness. That is why such designs are often seen at weddings and other celebrations. Mandala patterns are also very common designs. A mandala is a traditional symbol from Eastern religions. While every mandala is unique, they all share a circular and symmetrical structure. Their repeating patterns create a sense of rhythm that represents the vast universe and human consciousness. The mandala is a great symbol for anyone on a spiritual journey. Although henna tattoos are temporary, there are some ways to make them last longer. The most important thing is to let the paste dry completely and fall off the skin. In the days that follow, applying coconut oil to the design can help it last for a longer period, more than just body decoration. Henna tattoos are meaningful symbols that bring blessings to people's lives.
The tradition of body painting with henna paste is called mehndi.
好，我们来看第一段的第一句话，它就告诉我们说 The tradition of body painting with henna paste。 好，在这边提到说用指甲花膏来做这个人体彩绘这样的传统呢 is called mehndi。 好 mehndi 好，这叫曼海蒂，它用这种方式去做的话有一个特殊的名称。
Yeah, because it's a special word and it's in another language, that's why in writing we have it italicized. Okay, that's why it looks a little bit slanted to the right. Okay, and when you're reading out loud, obviously you can't read in italicized words. So usually I have a pause before I introduce that word. So it kind of has like a spotlight, like roll out the red carpet for a special word. So the way I read it usually is the tradition of body painting with henna paste is called mehndi. So there's a little bit of a pause. So the person who's listening can have a chance to get ready for a word that is special. Okay. This practice has been passed down for thousands of years and holds deep cultural significance.
好，我们来看第二句话，告诉我们说 this practice。我们昨天有学到 practice 的意思是 the way of doing something，这样的做法呢 has been passed down， 就是流传下来或者是传承下来 for thousands of years and holds deep cultural significance。这个 significance 的意思就是重要性。
Yes.
When you say something that is significant的时候，它就是 important 的意思，但这个地方它是 ce 结尾，我们知道它是名词，所以 holds deep cultural significance 指的意思就是具有深厚的文化意义哦。
Obviously, you could say has deep cultural significance, but hold this verb just makes it sound better. And we
承载了这样子的文化传统。
Exactly. Henna designs are often inspired by nature, and each one has its own special meaning.
哇，好期待！他这边告诉你说 henna designs， 好，他这边指甲画的这些图案，你会听到 patterns、designs 这些字可能交错的这出现 ，are often inspired by nature， 好，往往是来自于大自然的灵感，好，是大自然的启发。然后呢 ，and each one 每一个图案呢 has its own special meaning， 好，每一个图案它都有各自独特的意义。
Yes, so let's find out about these special designs. All right, so this is a chance for me to finally know what I was drawing on my skin that time, okay? Patterns of vines and leaves represent strength, growth, and the cycle of life.
哇，我们来看这一段的第一句话，它告诉你说 patterns of vines and leaves， 藤蔓啊跟树叶啊这样子的图案呢 represent， 这个字好重要，就是代表着 strength, growth and the cycle of life， 代表着力量、成长和生命的这种循环。所以在这里的话，你看到藤蔓啊这种生发的力量，所以在当时，如果说今天 Steven 老师当时画的是这些东西的话，可能就是很需要力量的战士，那种感觉。
Yeah. And we have said before, when there's a list, you have to keep all the words in the same form. Like if it's going to be a noun, a list of nouns, each have to be a noun. But here we see strength, growth, and the cycle of life. That's only because some nouns, you don't necessarily need the all the time. Okay, like strength and growth are nouns that you just don't need the, right? But cycle, you do need the. It's just the way that the word is, the nature of the word. So that's why strength, growth, and the cycle of life. And a lot of times when authors are writing that, obviously we want to keep it consistent, but if you have to have a word that has a little bit of a different, like adding the, we'll put that at the end.
所以说这种比较不合群的，我们把它放在最后面啊，最后来处理它的 strength, growth。不太合群 and the cycle of life， 好，就把它放在最后面，这样听起来至少不会太奇怪。
Exactly. All right. They serve as a symbol of hope for anyone going through difficult times.
所以这里他告诉你说 they serve as 就是作为什么 a symbol of hope for everyone going through difficult times。 这个 symbol of hope 就是这种希望的象征。老师刚才在开场的时候，我们就提到说不知道它代表什么，老师会用到 symbol 跟 symbolize， 在这一段里面都出现咯。这个字的话其实蛮重要的，所以他们可以当作是一种这种希望的象征。对于那些正在经历非常非常困难时期的人来说，它是一种力量，它是一种希望。
Yes. So here, I think like the author had a challenge because in this particular paragraph, we're saying what things mean, like what the images mean, what the patterns mean. So 这些的意义是什么？所以它要 represent, 它要 serve as, 它要 symbolize. 我们今天会碰到 symbolize. 其实 there's a lot of different ways to say these things. There's also depict, okay, D-E-P-I-C-T, or there's portray, P-O-R-T-R-A-Y. Or even stand for. What do they stand for? Or what do they signify? So all these verbs kind of mean the same thing, right? But it's good to have different choices. So you're not saying represent, 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 or using the same way to say the same thing over and over again. You have a lot of different choices, okay? So just pay attention to that, okay? Going through difficult times, that means experiencing difficult times, okay? On the other hand, flower patterns symbolize joy and happiness.
好，再来说 on the other hand， 好，在另一方面的话呢，在这边他就提到另外一个面向咯。他说 flower patterns， 好，第二个我们要谈到花朵。 好 ，flower patterns 花朵这种图案呢 ，symbolize 老师刚刚讲的 symbolize 在下面这句话会看到，你现在就看到了 symbolize 当动词使用的时候，就是象征着 joy and happiness， 好，就是这种欢乐，好，还有喜悦啊跟幸福这样的感觉。
That is why such designs are often seen at weddings and other celebrations. Okay, we see the word such here. Okay, usually we see that like before, like this is such a happy day. 这是一个那么的如此的一个快乐的一天。But here we see it in front of a noun, such designs. What does that mean? 那么的设计吗？而不是。In this sentence, when we see it, it means of the type previously mentioned. Okay, so it's kind of calling attention to what we've already been talking about. The thing that, and then since we're already talking about the designs that we see in henna, we're continuing to talk about this design. So you could just say these designs are often seen at weddings, but the author is choosing to use a different way. That is why such designs are often seen at weddings.
没错，所以这边的 such 的话，它不是讲到那么的，而是讲到这样的前面所提到的这样的感觉，所以也就是说 that is why 好，所以 such designs 这样子，我们前面提到的这些设计啊图案呢 are often seen at weddings and other celebrations， 很常会在婚礼啦或其他庆典上看到，因为这个象征喜悦跟幸福嘛，所以花朵很多时候你去看一些印度的一些片子，它如果有婚礼的时候，你会看到新娘身上啊很多都是这种花朵的图案。
Let's take a short break. Mandala patterns are also very common designs.
好，我们来看这一段咯。它第一句话就告诉你说 ，mandala patterns are also very common designs。这个曼陀罗的图案，好，你可能上网去打一下 mandala patterns， 你看就看到非常非常多，就很多这种从中间这样子往外散开、很对称的这种图案的形状，你可以去看一下，很美很美。好，它也是非常 very common designs。这个 common 就是很常见 ，very usual。
A mandala is a traditional symbol from Eastern religions.
好，我们来看这个 mandala 是什么东西。A mandala is a traditional symbol. 哦，又看到 symbol 这个字，象征，在这边的话是当名词使用。A traditional symbol 就是指这种传统的象征，来自于哪里呢 ？From Eastern religions， 来自于东方的宗教。啊，是这种曼陀罗是一个东方宗教的一个概念。
While every mandala is unique, they all share a circular and symmetrical structure.
好，他告诉你哦，他说虽然呢，好 while 只要看到 while 就知道还有两件事要讲。他说虽然 every mandala is unique， 每一个曼陀罗的图案都是独一无二的，但是他们有个共同点 ，they all share a circular， 它是一种圆形的。And symmetrical structures， 而且是对称的这样的一个结构。好，所以有机会你去看一下这个 mandala， 去找了哇，好多图案，它们的共同点都是好像都是圆形的，而且它的这个结构都是非常非常对称。你会看到这个字 symmetrical 就是对称的意思。
Yeah, like a mirror image. Like both sides are exactly the same. Okay. Their repeating patterns create a sense of rhythm that represents the vast universe and human consciousness.
哇，这句话好棒哦！他说 their repeating patterns， 它这种重复的这种图案的结构，对不对 ？Create a sense of rhythm。Rhythm 就是有一种节奏感，好，它有创造出一种节奏韵律感。That represents the vast universe and human consciousness。它呢就象征着这种浩瀚无涯的这种宇宙，还有呢我们人类的意识那样的感觉。所以你可能看到一个这个曼陀罗的这个图案，然后中间做一个打坐的人，都有机会看到这样的形象出现。
Yeah, 打坐是 meditate. M-E-D-I-T-A-T-E. Meditate. Okay, and then here we see vast universe. Okay, another word you could use is immense. I-M-M-E-N-S-E. And both of these words just mean like a very large, a huge and deep, with so many different layers. That's what a vast universe or immense universe means. Okay. And what does it mean? Consciousness in general, it means being aware of yourself. and your thoughts or what's happening inside of you or around you. That's what consciousness is.
没错，就是我们说的意识。然后很多时候你提到什么 awareness，很多时候提到说，你对这个东西到底你有没有感知到，或是你有意识到什么东西的存在？很多时候提到什么正念冥想，都会提到 consciousness。
The mandala is a great symbol for anyone on a spiritual journey.
好，他就告诉你说 ，the mandala， 好，这个曼陀罗呢 ，is a great symbol for anyone on a spiritual journey。对于那种任何踏上心灵之旅的人来说呢，都是一个非常棒的一个象征。所以在这边也要谈到说 ，anyone on a spiritual journey， 很多时候 journey 这个字会搭配 on 来使用哦。
All right, let's take a short break. Although henna tattoos are temporary, there are some ways to make them last longer.
好，接下来最后告诉我们说，我这好不容易弄这个 henna tattoo， 怎么样能够让它持久一点，不要太快的消退呢？来，这一段就可以告诉你答案了。他第一句话跟你讲说 ，Although henna tattoos are temporary， 虽然呢指甲花纹身是暂时的 ，there are 就是指还有什么 some ways to make them last longer， 有一些方法可以让它维持得更长久一点点。
So last, a lot of times people see it being used as an adjective or a noun, which means 最后一个. But in this sentence, it's being used as a verb, okay, to last longer. It means to continue on or to exist longer, okay? The most important thing is to let the paste dry completely and fall off the skin.
好，还有第一个最重要的 ，the most important thing， 好，最重要的事情是 is to let the paste dry completely， 让这个膏呢涂上去的指甲花膏呢，或者是这个指甲的这个彩绘的颜料呢，怎么样 dry completely 自然干，干了之后呢 and fall off the skin， 自己从你的这个皮肤上面这样掉落下来，你不要去摸它，你不要去把它洗掉啊等等，让它自然干，让它吃进去。
Yes. So, like I mentioned in previous lessons, that adverbs are very important. Like if you didn't have the adverb in this sentence completely, then it would be let the paste dry and fall off the skin. But maybe if you didn't have that adverb, you wouldn't know like let it dry how much? Only like completely or partly? Okay, so that's the adverb I want to introduce to you. Partly, P-A-R-T-L-Y. 就是部分的. Okay, so do you let it dry how long?
No.
Like for how long? So adverbs are very important. I just want to keep bringing that message and drilling it into our students' heads. I know when you're learning another language, you're like, oh, I already know the nouns and verbs. I have to learn adjectives and adverbs. Like, why do I need to know these words? Because it helps you know the meaning of the sentence.
Yeah.
So I think they're very important.
副词好重要，而且很多时候老师在谈到副词的时候，他使用的方式、念的方式，你都可以慢慢把它学进去。以后你讲起这个副词的时候，或者名词的时候，形容词的时候，你就觉得人家听得到说啊，有那么美啊，更道地的那种感觉。
Yeah. Like I love adverbs.
Yeah.
I'm an advocate for adverbs.
Yes.
为他们发言的人。
为他们发言。
Yeah. In the days that follow, applying coconut oil to the design can help it last for a longer period.
好，他还告诉你后面第二个技巧。In the days that follow， 在接下来的几天里面呢，applying coconut oil。好，在这个地方我们先想一下 ，apply 这个字，我们之前就学过了，就是擦什么东西在皮肤上面那个擦，对不对 ？Applying coconut oil 就是擦这个椰子油 to the design can help it last for a longer period。就是能够，如果你擦那个椰子油在这个图案上面的话，它能帮助它能够更加的定着，可能不会太快的消失。
Yeah, 可以帮助它怎么样？帮助它 last for a longer period. We see that word last again being used as a verb. 可以维持更久的一个时间。那 longer period, sometimes you might see longer period of time. Okay, but you don't necessarily need of time. We know that it means 一段时间。More than just body decoration, henna tattoos are meaningful symbols that bring blessings to people's lives.
好，我们来看最后这句话。More than just body decoration， 不只是身体的这种装饰啦，身体这种彩绘而已哦。Henna tattoos， 好，就是我们说的这种指甲花纹身呢 are meaningful symbols， 它是非常非常有意义的。好 ，meaningful symbol 就是我们指象征，有意义的象征，非常深远的象征。That bring blessings to people's lives， 它能够为人们的生活带来很多的祝福。所以说，今天如果有机会，你昨天没有听到我讲开场的时候那个109年学测那篇文章的话，你有机会去找来看一看。因为 Hannah 不只是装饰而已，它能够为人带来自信。带来祝福，带来力量，或者是今天带来这种心中的这种平衡，或者是和谐等等都有。
Right. They're not just pretty designs. I think the most beautiful thing about henna is one, it has such a long history that we learned about in yesterday's lesson. And everything that is being drawn onto your body is a blessing from someone that's trying to represent good things like good fortune, good health, and just being more like, happiness and joy. I think that's a really beautiful thing about henna. So whether or not you believe that drawing something on your skin can really give you blessings, I think sometimes like the laws of attraction, like if you believe this thing, like there's a physical representation on your skin, it can remind you to stay happy and reminds you to stay positive. So I think it's something that's quite beautiful, and I think I can understand why it's always used in like very like happy ceremonies or weddings. Yeah.
没错，老师刚刚提到一个 laws of attraction， 就是吸引力法则。至少，也许不管你相不相信说，在这个身体上画上这些美丽的图案，能够带给你力量等等。但是如果说今天你看到这些图案，你会想到说，我需要保持正念，我要保持这个正向的心态，看事情不要太过负面等等，多多少少还对你的这种心态跟整体的身心平衡是有帮助的。
Right, and it lasts for a long time.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a good reminder that like even when you're feeling sad, it's still there, and it reminds you to be happy.
没错。
All right, so hopefully you learned a lot about henna, and we'll see you guys next time.
拜拜。
Bye-bye.